treat for you. I'm going to show you how to create the Panda sweet and sour chicken in the comfort of your own home using only a few simple ingredients. Now we're going to do it two different ways. We're going to do the original way, which is very, very simple. But also, I'm going to give you the version that I created, and you know, anytime that Sonya put her special touch on it, it's going to be delicious. So, with that in mind, let's get started. Okay, so here are the ingredients you're going to need in order to make your sweet and sour chicken by Panda. As you can see in the back, I have a 10-pound bag. Let's move this to the back for a second. I have a 10-pound bag of Tyson chicken breast that I purchased, and I always buy this boneless chicken breast from Sam's Club because I can create a lot of meals from this one bag of chicken breast. You can do chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, chicken salad, stuffed chicken with broccoli. I mean, it's just the possibility of creating meals is just endless with this big bag. So I would encourage you to start buying bigger bags to create a lot more meals rather than buy these individual bags of pre-cooked chicken nuggets, chicken tender that's been compressed with all kinds of meat of the chicken. But this is 100% chicken breast, so we will be using that chicken breast. Another thing I'm going to incorporate is some fruits and vegetables. We will be using a different color bell peppers. We have an orange one, a green one, a red, a yellow, and we're going to use some fresh pineapple. You're going to love this. Now this is what I just showed you. I've been soaking and cleaning my fruits and my vegetables. So this right here is optional. You don't have to do this. I'm gonna give you the simple form version of it, but this is my creation of sweet and sour chicken using that Panda sauce. So you really don't have to have that. That's optional now. Now the cooking grease, you're gonna have to have some cooking grease of some sort. This is what I use. Let me show you what I use. I use this clear frying oil that I pick up from Sam's. I do a lot of my shopping from Sam's because it's more affordable, it's more feasible for me to go there because I can do a lot with this 35-pound container of Crisco oil or clear frying oil, which is gluten-free. So that's what I'll be using. But you only need 2.5 quarts of any kind of your favorite cooking oil. It doesn't necessarily have to be this. Any kind of your favorite cooking oil. Okay, in this container or this bowl, I have two to 3 cups of flour, because you're gonna need some flour to coat your chicken. Now in this pot or bowl, I've already gone ahead and cut up my chicken breast the way that we desire to have the shape of it. And when you're slicing up your chicken breast, go ahead and discard all of that fat around it. Anything that you see white on your chicken, you're gonna discard it. But this is my chicken, have already been cleaned, diced, and it's in water. There's a purpose for this water. You must have your chicken, once you clean it and dice it or cut it up the way you want it, you must keep it in water because that's going to help aid in applying it into your flour and giving it some kind of coating to deep fry. Now, also, you're going to need, if you have some kitchen shears to use to cut up your meat, that's fine. If not, we can do it the old traditional way and just use a cutting knife of some sort. Now, with my recipe, we will be using this Panda sweet chili sauce, which is the same thing as sweet and sour sauce. I will be incorporating some hot sauce, any hot sauce of your choice, a little honey. Now, I'm kind of debating what flavor do I want to go with today. This is a sauce that I pick up from our local DeKalb farmers market in Decatur, and this is a sweet pineapple sauce. Okay, let me say this. While we're preparing the food, allow your pot, whether you're going to use a deep fryer, or you're going to use one of grandma's old collard green pots, which will serve as a deep fryer, you can use that as well. I prefer to use an old pot, put it on the stove, and put the grease inside of that. Now, you do not want your grease to be no higher than 1/3 of it. So almost like 2.5 quarts of cooking oil in your pot. You're going to allow it to sit on your stove. If you have a gas, you know gas don't take that long to heat up. So you're going to sit it on your stove for about 3 to 4 minutes, allow it to get hot. To know if your grease is ready, you're going to take a pinch of your flour from your bowl and drop it inside of the pot. If it begins to sizzle, then you're ready to go ahead and cook your chicken nuggets. And you're going to cook the chicken nuggets until they're actually golden brown. So that's a key too. But first I want to go ahead and cut up all my fruits because I've gone ahead already to cut up my chicken. So we're going to go ahead and incorporate my fruits. So there's 2 different recipes for this now. So I will leave everything down in the comment section, in the description bar. I'm sorry, in the description section, so you can check out that recipe. So let's get started with the fruits. On this channel, we like to do everything by hand. We ain't taking no shortcuts because sometimes you may catch it faster than somebody else of how to prepare this meal. And there are some people who need just a little bit more help, and that's why I'm here. So let's turn around and we're going to go ahead and cut up our fruits. Okay, so let's get started in cutting our vegetable and fruits. I'm going to take my first orange pepper. I don't want to use all of this. I only want to use half of it. I don't even think half. Okay, so you're going to have seeds inside of it. Do I cook the seeds too? No. We're going to discard the seeds. We're going to put this up for a later time in a container. So what you're going to do is take your knife, go around that, and cut that center out. You're going to throw that away because I really want to give it color as well. So I took all of that out, just cut it out, cut around the top to take my seeds out. We're going to go ahead and throw that away. So the next thing I'm going to do is flip it over. I don't want them in pieces, so that's good. That's good enough. Let's go ahead and get the green one out. We're going to cut it. Remember what I said, to take your knife, go around that, take that out. We're going to discard that. Go from the bottom. You can actually cook this part, but I need to get to that center because I like taking that out. I don't like really keeping all that. Flip it over. It doesn't have to be perfect either. Be careful with your fingers. Let's go ahead and cut the red one up. We only want, if half, not really even half of it. Take that out. Flip it over. Okay, you can cut it how you want to cut it, but I'm just trying to give you an example of how to cut it. Just watch out for your fingers. Hell, I ain't no chef. Okay, the last one we're going to cut is this yellow one. I just want a little bit. Don't forget to take the center out. Okay. If you have a few seeds in there, that's fine. It's not going to hurt you. But you don't want to eat all the seeds from the bell peppers. I'm going to go ahead and take my vegetables and put them in that bowl. So that's all I have. You really don't need that much unless you're serving like a large family. Now make sure that your pineapple is really clean because cut that top off. You said cut the top off. You could use it as a bowl if you wanted to put it back inside, but we ain't doing all that today. Some thin slices of pineapple. You don't want to keep the rind. You don't want to use this rind. You want to cut it off. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You just go around the inside of it. Look at that juice. You want the juice. Look, when you cut up this pineapple, if you decide to use a pineapple, this is my version. You want to use all of that. You want to use the juice, and the pineapples. Okay, so if you're going to use a whole pineapple, go ahead and scoop that pineapple up, put it in your bowl with that. Now, I'm going to rinse this off because the next pineapple that I cut up, I want to use the juice, and I'm going to also incorporate this juice right here. Okay, for my recipe, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a half of a red pepper, yellow, green, I'll pour some seeds in there, and orange. And it will be delicious if you can use a fresh pineapple. Do not discard this because at the end of the meal, we're going to squeeze this on top of the sweet and sour chicken for my recipe. Okay. I'm going to mix those up really, really well. Now I'm going to cover this up because I don't need this right now. We're going to go over to the stove and we're going to begin to cook our chicken. Okay, you want to make sure that your pot is hot. Over here to the side, I have my chicken, and I have this is what I call a cooling rack. This is going to allow my chicken to air dry evenly without having the grease saturate at the bottom of the chicken. And that's what you want to use. Go out and invest in one of these cooling racks, or a cookie sheet is what they call it, cooling rack, whatever they call it. Go and buy one of these because this is really going to help you in the long run, health-wise. Not all that grease you're saturating your food, but it's going to allow the chicken to air dry. Let's focus back on this pot. Excuse how it looks. It's an older pot. Now, to know if your grease is ready to cook in, that vent is going to come on pretty soon, people. Now, in that pot, I have 2.5 quarts of cooking oil. You want to take a pinch of your flour, drop it in. Do you see it sizzling? Okay, you really want it to sizzle a little bit more than that, but I'm going to go ahead and cook in it because I know it's ready. You want to come over here. Now remember I told you about that chicken having that water on it. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can actually pour this flour inside of a bowl, inside of a bag, a Ziploc bag, if you don't want to touch the chicken. I don't have a problem with it. You're going to take your chicken with the wetness on it. Make sure your hands are clean. Pick it up, put it in here. Just drop it in here. You want some of that wetness so it can adhere to the flour and cook really crispy. You do not, I'm doing this with one hand. I'm left-handed. I put all that in there. And that's equivalent to probably about 3 to 4 chicken breasts. That's how it's going to look, just like that in that flour. Once you take your hand, see it got water inside of it. And you got to coat it really, really good. Mix that up very well. You're going to make a little mess, so be prepared to clean up. But it's going to be worth it. I like to squeeze mine for some reason, I don't know. To make sure that it's fully coated. And I'm not going to lose any of the crust off the chicken. You see that? When you see it like that, them flakes, it's going to be really crispy. That's why I say you don't need no eggs. Don't put no eggs on this chicken. Okay. So it's really coated good for me. So what I'm going to do is dust some of that flour off. But you don't want too much to get in your grease, because if you put a lot of flour in the bottom of that grease when it begins to cook, you're going to have to strain that grease to use it again, because if not, the grease is going to smell like it's starting to burn. So that's ready. Shake some of it off. Go ahead and just dump it in your pot. Okay, y'all have to excuse that sound, but that's my vent that came on. It's been 15 minutes. As you can see, it's floating to the top. We're going to go ahead and remove this first batch from the grease. And you're going to need a large spoon. That's how it's going to look. You want it kind of crispy, extra crispy, because once you put that sauce on there, it's going to adhere to the sauce and marinate in the sauce. And it's going to look just like Panda Express. Let me go ahead and take this out right quick. Remember to have some kind of cooling rack on the side. And just dump it on top of there. And it should look just like that, really crispy. And if you decide to eat some for tomorrow, guess what? It's still going to be crispy. Caught it. See all those little nugget pieces, they'll fall to the very bottom. So now while that is cooling, I'm going to focus my attention over here to my wok. This is optional. You don't have to do this. I'm going to do another version. Allow that to get high for about 5 minutes. We're not going to put anything inside of that. While we're waiting more for our chicken to cool down, it's going to air dry evenly, so it won't have all that grease. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. When I take this up, look at here. Do you see all that grease that have settled? This is just an old pan that I use. Do you see all that grease? And that is what happens when you decide to put a paper towel down on your plate or whatever, your platter, and then you put your chicken on top of it. What it's doing is saturating to the bottom of the meat opposed to air drying the meat evenly. This way it's air dried evenly, so you don't have that greasy feel, little to no grease. Okay, let me let that finish cooling. Okay. So now I've taken a couple pieces well, I've taken a few pieces of my deep fried chicken nuggets. You can eat this by itself with barbecue sauce or whatever you want to. For the kids, if they don't want sweet and sour chicken, they can eat this. This is more healthier than buying the bag. But I want you to hear the crunch. Okay, now to cook it, to prepare this the original way of the sweet and sour version, the only thing you're going to need is your chicken in a bowl once you fry it and allow it to air dry, and some sweet chili sauce. That's it. You're going to take your sweet chili sauce, shake it up real good. You're going to marinate that chicken in that sauce very well. That should be enough. Take your lid, put it on top. You can either shake it, flip it a couple of times. You just want to make sure that it's fully coated. Normally I would take a spoon and just, let me show you what I would do. When I make it, I take a spoon and I like to marinate it this way. I mean, if you shake it up, that's fine too. It's not like it's gonna take the coating off, the bread coating off the chicken. Just rotate it just like this. Continue to do this until it's fully coated. Okay, don't put a top back on it. Just go ahead and sit it to the side. This is the extra added tip. If you sit it off to the side and let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes and allow that sauce to really marinate inside those chicken nuggets, oh my goodness, it's going to be delicious. If not, if you want to serve it like this, that's fine. Now, let's move on to my special sauce. And there you have it. Okay, to make my special sauce, let's use a small container because I'm not making that much of it. I'm going to use 1 cup of the sweet chili sauce. It's about 1 cup. I don't like, I grew up on adding water to stuff, so we're going to add just a sip of water. Don't you waste that sauce in that bottle. No, just kidding. But that's 1 cup of the sauce, the sweet chili sauce. That's 1 cup of the sweet chili sauce. Okay, I'm going to use this pineapple sauce. And I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of that. I'm not using that much because I have some fresh pineapples. If I didn't have the fresh pineapples, I probably would have used 2 to 3 tablespoons of it. But since I have fresh pineapples, I'm only going to use 1 tablespoon of that. For the hot sauce, it's up to you what kind of flavor you want. You want a real big kick to it? You can add a 1/2 tablespoon, or you can add 1 teaspoon. I'm going to go with 1 teaspoon of hot sauce. I want it to have a kick, but I want everything to come together and balance. So, I gotta clean my mess up. Okay, so that's a teaspoon of hot sauce. Clean my mess. Okay, and last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and use 1 tablespoon of honey, because I'm not making that much. Okay. So that's 1 tablespoon of honey. Pour that in there. Okay. So now, I gotta clean my mess up. You want to take your spoon and mix everything very well. Very well. Now we're going to come back over to the aisle. I'm going to sit my sauce there. Now for the chicken that I did have left over, although it's been deep fried, I'm going to go ahead and add it to my wok. I'm not going to put anything inside of my wok but the chicken right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that chicken off in there. This is what I had left over. That's enough for 1 person. Really 2. Because I don't eat that much. Okay. Make sure that your skillet, if you're going to do it the second way, which is my method of doing the sweet and sour chicken, make sure that the skillet is hot, at least on a gas setting of high, for at least 2 minutes. Okay. I'm going to use my wooden spoon to mix that in there. Okay, so now that that's very, very hot, I'm going to go over to the refrigerator and pull out all of the vegetables that I cut up with my fruits. Do I have to use all of this? I don't. I'm not going to use all of it. But I want to put some of that inside of there. So I'm going to dip out what I want. I want some color, and I definitely want some pineapple, some fresh pineapple. Okay. Okay, so now that we have placed all our vegetables and fruits inside of that bowl, we're going to take our sauce and we're going to drizzle that on top of it. And the only thing we're doing is really warming it up really good. Instead of putting it in the microwave where it's going to break apart and take away from the flavor, we're just going to do that for about a minute or 2. We just want to do it enough to coat that chicken very well. Once our chicken is coated, we're going to turn it off. Because you don't want your vegetables to really cook that long. You don't want them soggy. You want them to still look fresh. It's about 1 to 2 minutes. And this is my version of sweet and sour chicken. You talking about something delicious? Lord have mercy. Like I said, we just put it in the skillet to warm it up very well without having to put it in that microwave. Because that microwave is going to make it soggy with the vegetables and the fruits in it. So that's well coated. I'm going to go ahead and plate this and show you for presentation. What I will be serving with this tonight is some brown rice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the plates. What you see on the plates right now is some brown sticky rice. And this is what I bought. This is sticky rice that I bought. Brown sticky rice. So both plates have rice on it. Over here to your right, this is just your plain sweet and sour chicken. And over here on this plate, we have the brown sticky rice as well. And I'm going to go ahead and place my version of that sweet and sour chicken on there. I wish we had smell-o-vision, because when I tell you this stuff is smelling so good, it is unreal. Make sure you get some of those pineapples on there now. That's a lot. I think we're going to share that, but I'm just going to make that plate look kind of healthy. Clean up my mess. I'm gonna clean my mess up. So over here on this platter, you have some fresh, sticky brown rice, served with my version of a sweet and sour chicken, and you have all your bell pepper colors: orange, red, yellow, and green. And I also diced up some fresh whole pineapples in that and drizzled just a little bit of that juice from that top of that pineapple on there. That's gonna be delicious, people. Over here on this plate, you just have the original sweet and sour chicken. This is how the kids like it, like this. So enjoy. See, can I get those together? Because they need to be roommate, huh? So I hope you've enjoyed the time we've shared together in creating this wonderful meal, this Panda Express sweet and sour chicken in the comfort of your own home. Didn't I tell you it's going to be easy? Over here to the left, you have my creation of the sweet and sour version. And on the right-hand side, you have the Panda Express version. Now, both are pretty good, but I can hear someone saying in the background, "Sonya, girl, you need to be on the Food Network channel." And guess what? I'm going to agree with you on that. So put in a good word for me, okay? So until next time, be blessed.